Hey, it's Amir from Amir Project Fitness, and in today's video I'm going to talk about gluten-free diets. Is going gluten-free an actual solution for a permanent fat loss? So guys, chances are you've heard about gluten-free because everywhere you go there's books and people talking about gluten-free. So I wanted to share some ideas and thoughts and my experiences with my clients in actually getting them to lose fat and working around certain obstacles and actually testing this gluten-free approach on many different clients with different goals and genders and ages and different fitness levels. And basically the final conclusion that I've gotten to is gluten-free diet can be a very effective approach when it comes to losing fat. However, it does not mean that it fits everyone. So what I mean by that is, first, basically every person has a certain level of sensitivity to gluten, right? So we can be either highly sensitive or not so sensitive to foods that have gluten. Basically, gluten is a type of protein that is found in wheat and barley and rye. So what we want to make sure is to test that. I would love if I could just tell you, yes, you should all just go on gluten-free diet and you'll be fine. I have seen in certain clients that when they do implement this gluten-free diet, that there are extremely fast and very effective it's very effective in losing fat. They actually see rapid results and their fat just drops like crazy. However, on some other clients, the same exact protocol of just removing gluten-free almost 100%, it's really hard to be 100% gluten-free because wheat is in everything pretty much these days. But other clients had literally either very little positive changes or no changes at all. So this led me to research this a little bit and test different things. So it really comes down to individuality of each person. And while, as I said, I would love to say, sure, just go gluten-free and you're going to be, getting your ideal weight and losing fat as quickly as you can imagine. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I cannot give such recommendation because you might be one of these belong into the group of people who are not as sensitive to the gluten and that may not give any positive results after you implement it. So I would say is that basically when you think about removing white bread or anything that is made from white flour, yes, chances are your health is going to be heavily improved with that because it's just highly processed and there's nothing nutritious about it. However, on the other hand, if you have whole grain, unbleached, not enriched with anything, flour and let's say whole grain breads or Ezekiel bread, for example, chances are that those may not affect your health or your fat loss in any negative or positive way. Basically, it's going to depend on your individuality. So I would say gluten-free diet or gluten-free living can be a very effective method, but it can also be completely ineffective. So it can do nothing for you. The only way to know, just like with many other things that I talked about and that I will talk about on this channel, such as supplements and proteins and meats and all of these things, the only way to know is basically to test it. So what I suggest is, just like with other things, take a month or 4 weeks and completely eliminate gluten from your diet, completely, and just see what happens within that month. If you're having positive changes, if you're losing fat, if you're feeling better, if your energy levels are up, which is a very common outcome that people get when they go on a gluten-free diet, they just feel much more energetic, much more alive. They feel like, oh my God, my whole life so far I've been like this and tired and kind of lifeless, and all of a sudden I feel I just want to go and conquer the world. So test it by removing gluten completely from your diet for 4 weeks, and then after 4 weeks slowly introduce it into your diet and see what happens. So within 4 weeks, your body will adapt to not having it, and you will experience either no positive changes or no changes at all, or you will have great, as I said, some of these awesome effects that you can have from it. Then when you reintroduce gluten back into your diet, then observe what happens. Usually, if you remove it for a month and then, let's say you're sensitive to gluten and you can benefit from being on a gluten-free diet, you remove it from your diet for a week, for 4 weeks or a month, and then after that you reintroduce it, chances are you're going to have all kinds of digestive problems, your energy levels are going to go down, you're going to feel like this again. If that happens, then you have a very sure way to know that gluten is actually not for you, and you're going to be much better off without it. On the other hand, if you have it for removed from your diet for 4 weeks and then you reintroduce it and nothing happens, chances are you're going to be okay if you continue eating gluten-free. Again, so 2 things. First, focus on whole wheat breads and unbleached, not enriched with anything wheat products. That's number 1. And number 2, test it out for yourself, right? So even if you decide to go with gluten, let's say whole grain or whole wheat bread or things or products that are whole wheat, even if you decide to go that route, make sure to focus on only whole grain, organic, whole wheat products and not the regularly processed, enriched, and bleached white flour products. So that's my take on gluten-free. If you have any comments, please post them in the comment section below, and make sure to subscribe to our channel, because every day I'm going to be giving you a new video with another tip to lose weight and optimize your health. Thank you.